I'm Alex Chen. I'm a senior here at Marquette, and today I will be talking about interviews. I would say, as of now, anywhere in the neighborhood between 15 and 20. Yeah, so I have 7 main tips. So the first one, prep the common questions. The most common question you're gonna get in every single interview is tell me about yourself. This is your interviewer's way to make sure that they have the right person, but it's also a way for you to guide the conversation. I'll go over more of the common interview questions a bit later. The second tip is to ground yourself. You want your feet flat on the floor. You want to push your back into the chair. You want good posture, shoulders back. You want to breathe and remind yourself that you'll be fine. The third tip is what pretty much every admissions officer will tell you ahead of time. It's to be yourself. Interviewers tend to know what they're doing and they can tell if you're being fake. And that's really true. Like if you're being inauthentic, first of all, you'll probably catch yourself in a lie and then you'll have to dig yourself out of it. And the second thing is like you'll have less energy and you'll seem less like bought into the actual experiences that you're describing. Fourth tip is to prep questions for your interviewer. 3 is typically fine. If you think you're going to do more, then prep 5. The good ones for colleges include like what was your path into this college and how did your path change? Things like what has been your favorite experience, sort of those things. If your college has an interesting housing culture, which a lot of universities do, to ask your interviewer about the house and their housing culture, those sort of things, they're all pretty good. The fifth thing is to do your due diligence. Research your program and find things that appeal to you. Don't say you want to go into business at Harvard because Harvard does not have an undergraduate business program, and I learned that the hard way. So the sixth thing is to buy a drink. So if you're at any food institution, the reason why you want to do this is that it shows respect to the institution. You want to like support the institution where you're having your interview. And it can also be a really, really good deflection mechanism. So whenever you're asked a difficult question and you need a second to think, go to your water, your lemonade, your iced tea, and just take a sip while you think about your answer. And then the seventh one, probably the biggest one, is to be kind. Your interviewers are taking time out of their day to like actually do this. Most of them are not paid. So appreciate them for their time and just be a nice person. It goes a long way. If you're a jerk, it will probably show up in the report that they write. So you don't want to do that. So the most common one for sure is tell me a little bit about yourself. Your answer to this should be 2 to 3 minutes if you want to optimize this question. Remember that this question also sets the tone for the rest of your interview. So you want to guide the conversation to where you want it to be led. So if you want to hit on your extracurriculars or your activities, your research, if you do that, you really want to give your interviewer a sense of where this next hour or half hour is going to go. The next most commons are like, what do you like to do for fun? Typically, this is like a be yourself question, but if you don't have anything that you do for fun, anything to do with nature is typically a safe bet. So like if you like to go hiking, go rowing, that sort of thing, those are typically safe options. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Be prepared with like good examples for strengths. There's not like much to say there, but for weaknesses, don't say like you're a perfectionist because they've heard that like 100 times. Instead, like be authentic and then say your weakness and then show a way that you're trying to improve on that weakness. You always want to frame yourself in a like growth mindset manner for that question. The next most common is probably like, what are you excited for? In insert the college name or insert the program name here. For this one, just do your due diligence. Like look up the program you're applying for ahead of time and don't mess up. What does this opportunity slash education experience mean to you? Once again, just do your due diligence and really research a couple of things. A lot of programs like really like it if you like name drop certain like professors or like certain programs or experiences that you're excited for. Personally, I don't really buy into that, but it's always good if you can show that you've researched the college ahead of time. The toughest questions are always the ones that you don't prepare because you actually have to think of them on the spot. Like at the end, when I was doing my 15th interview, like there weren't hard questions because I'd seen everything. One issue that you care about, that's also one that's tough because like it requires you to be vulnerable. And talk about one failure that you've learned. This is also this is also like difficult because once again you want to frame yourself well. So like those are probably three of the harder ones.